Back with another match review, this time against Chance Marsteller, 2023 World Team member. He was one of the guys that beat Jordan Burroughs, and he was a Division I All-American for Lock Haven. So let's get right into the match. Shake hands. Starts off with a heavy hand fight. Both digging for our tie-ups. I like to get to my underhooks. So does Chance. So we're both trying to dig some underhooks here. You'll see here, he's trying to get that Russian tie position. Watch how I clear out of that Russian tie. Right when my opponent goes for a Russian tie, what I do, we'll pause on it, is I take my opposite hand. You're not going to be able to see it right now from this angle, but I'm going to take my opposite hand, the hand that's not getting Russian tied, and I'm going to push it into his face. All right, so here, while I'm pushing it into his face, I'm ripping my right arm back. So I'm not just allowing him to hold onto that Russian tie, I'm pulling my right arm back as I jam my left hand into his face to get as much distance as possible. There are some different attacks he can do when I post my hand, so I want to get as much space as possible here. So I get cleared, we're back in our stance, back to that collar tie, inside tie position. Notice how he's grabbing my wrist there. He's grabbing with my wrist with what's called a reverse grip. And I prefer grabbing it that way. So if we look here where my wrist is being grabbed, when you grab the wrist that way, you can shoot and not have your opponent down block you because you have inside position here. I then go to pull into a Russian tie. He gets that arm free and gets to his underhook position. Another little thing, when somebody gets an underhook here, so if we go back, when an opponent gets an underhook on me, I want to get head position. So he got the underhook. I quickly put my head right into that same shoulder as the underhook side. It's very hard for him to attack from here. Nice little fake, good motion there. I dig to my own underhook. He's doing the same thing. You see, like anytime, whether I got my underhook or he got his underhook, the defensive person, as you can see what he's doing, he's putting his head right on my shoulder of that underhook side, making it very difficult for me to attack. But one thing that you're noticing that he's doing much better is he's adding more fakes. He's winning. We're doing pretty even as far as the hand fighting goes, but he's setting up much better. He's pulling me and he's faking a lot better than I am. So if we just go back a few seconds and watch his motion versus mine, he's the one dictating the motion because of his fakes. So he's on me, doing a couple fakes. He does it again here. And he's able to really move me around a lot more and ultimately get it on the legs. So if you want to be the one dictating the match, right? You want to be the one moving the guy around, faking. All I would have had to done is start faking my own, right? Start doing my own fakes and it would have got him moving. But instead, I just stood there and allowed my opponent to dictate the match. So make sure you're the one pulling the person around. You're the one faking, and your opponent should be the one reacting. And just so you know the formula of a shot, step one, get to your tie-up. Then step two is setup, which is push, pulls, and fake. So he was doing a great job in that setup portion. Gets into the fireman's carry. Trying my best to recover here. Trying to stay on my feet. No two yet, no two yet. Big mat return. Get right back up to my feet. That was a little dicey by me, but even though I got mat returned really big, I did do a great job of bouncing back to my base. So I hit right to my base. You do not want to get flattened out. I just start standing up when he's head levering, peeling, trying to stay in bounds. He's trying to just get me out of bounds, get that ride out. Starting down, I always on bottom. If you see my matches, whatever side they're on, my first move is gonna be a resistance to that side. So if he's lining up on the right, you're gonna notice my hands are gonna go to the right side, shifting, and I start sealing off and coming up to my feet. Once I'm on my feet, I try my best to stay on my feet, seal, and clear. Back to a heavy hand fight. I just wish I was doing more fakes in this match. Trying to dig that underhook position, but I really can't do much. Here's the difference. When I used to get underhooks on people, I could do what's called a head pinch, but Chance is doing such a good job of not only putting his head in my neck, he's actually putting his head on my shoulder, lower down my arm, which makes it so difficult to get anything with that underhook position. So look at how low his head is there. It's below, it's not even in my shoulder anymore. It's so low, it's so difficult to really do anything from this position. I think if I was to redo this, normally when somebody's head drops underneath my chest, I change from trying to do a head pinch to trying to snap him down to the floor. But you'll notice I don't do that in this instance, and as a result, I'm not able to score in this position. So what I think I should have done is snap down from this position a little bit. But even the snap down's tough because his elbow would have gotten caught on my bicep when I tried to snap. There, if you notice there, at least I'm moving a little bit more, I'm attacking a little bit more. That's one of my number one shots. If you watch one of my other match reviews, I hit this shot a lot, where I go collar tie, my opponent thumb blocks, I clear and fake. Rewind one more time real quick with that one. So I go collar tie with my lead hand. He thumb blocks with his left right here, and then you're gonna notice I'm gonna use my left hand to clear. I'll go pause it when I do it. Here, clear that hand. I fake there. I probably should have shot. I think that was a good opening there. That's not good on the high part. See, notice here, I don't know if anything happens from this position, but look at how my left arm is down here. My left elbow's down, my right elbow's up. So it's leaving my right leg exposed. If he just shoots to like a single dump here, like a sweep single, a lefty single, I would have been done. And I don't know if that's what happens, but such bad positioning for me right here. I should bail out of this underhook position because I'm really not in a good position. Not only is he doing the fakes, he's doing the snap so much better. That's really been I think the main difference is the hand fighting somewhat equal. We're both getting into good tie-ups, but he's really pushing, pulling, faking, and snapping much better than me once he gets to that tie-up position. I should have switched to something else because I'm really not getting a good enough underhook to do any attacks from here. He's just limping his arm down, and I'm really not getting underneath his armpit enough. I'm like barely getting like his tricep with my underhook, not underneath his armpit. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. That was horrible on my part. Horrible there. This is a huge mistake. 5 seconds left. Near the out of bounds, and I get taken down. You can end a match you can end a period 2-1. 4-1 is a whole different ball game. Because 2-1, I go down, it's 2-2. I get out, it's 2-2. It's like really not that big of a deal. And I know the ref's in the way a little bit, but he hits a high crotch on me again, switches to, or I think he tried to hit a fireman's first. Now he's in that high crotch position. What am I doing here? What a horrible defense. Leaning over to grab the far ankle. I'm leaning my chest over and trying to like drape, and it makes no sense here. My right arm should be trying to attack his other ankle as I sprawl, but I'm leaning over to that side, just leaning right over top. Super easy for him to crack me down, and then I'm stepping over. And I really didn't have, he was so high up on my leg that I didn't have the ability to face him in this position. Second period. Again, you're going to notice the way I shift my way out. Pretty much do the exact same stand-up every single time. He's doing a little bit of a head lever. I just seal off and get out of there. That is my bottom's my best. Nobody really I wrestled held me down. So if I was to say like against the highest level wrestlers, I never really had an issue getting an escape. Maybe one or two people that were good at leg riding, I had some difficulty, but not many. I just wish I was a little more dynamic. I had a couple extra moves. Because I'm really like, I'm not trying anything new. I'm just going to that same, okay, underhook, head pinch, trying to do the same thing. Like, change to something else. Do something different. It's not working. You've gotten this position like 10 times, and it's never even been close to anything. There's a little fake, a little bit of motion there. Again, he's snapping really well. What is that I'm doing? This lean over, try to do this spladle position. It's like very similar to that high crotch, like that lean right arm coming over there. It's really not a good position to be in. I should switch to a whizzer, not whatever I'm doing here. My shot defense was definitely really bad, I feel like, in this match. One thing you'll notice when I get to my feet, if my opponent ever locks his hands tight, I really don't try to break the grip because normally it's very difficult. I normally try to stay on my feet to get what's called a stalling call on my opponent. So I seal very good. My escapes are good. Like I said, I seal off. Notice right when I got to come down, I took my elbow, I sealed off so he couldn't lock his hands. But then this is where I make the mistake. Look at how tall I'm standing here. When you stand up, you never want to stand up this tall. You want to be in a good stance, sealing off with your right hands. When you stand up super tall, they can lock their hands. You can't block and seal off when you're that tall in the air. Should have stayed in my stance the whole time. Now I do a good job of blocking his knee, not getting my return to get my escape. Back to hand fighting. That reverse, the takedown that he got to was from that reverse grip. You know, he's doing like a sweep single, so inside tie, reverse grip, and he was able to shoot in. So definitely good setup on his part. And he's a lefty, so like that shoulder is back further. You know, it would be easier to get to his right side. That's probably the main reason why I couldn't get a good underhook on his right arm is because he's a lefty. Second period done. And I'm just trying those two moves, like literally it's just underhook or that clearing of his thumb block and then to the sweep single. Good job by him there too. I think this is the last. Maybe he got two more takedowns. I don't remember, but what am I doing here? Pulling him underneath. What is this position? It's like nothing. Like we both have the exact same thing, but his head's underneath. So he ends up. It's a good position for him. Look at this position, how he can duck here. I have his wrist. He ducks that side, follows through, reduces to the high crotch. Notice that too. You don't want to split your hands for too long, right? He does a great job of once he gets in. He had his hands split for a second here because I pulled that arm up a little bit, but then he was able to relock his hands, and that's a big reason why I was able to finish that takedown. I continue to bounce to my feet. That's probably the only thing I did good in this match was getting quick escapes. I think he ends up getting one more takedown on me here. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that I would learn from this is, have your system, but you might need to open up a little bit. After this match, I should have looked it over. Should have found my weaknesses and made an adjustment. That's why I'm doing these match reviews, because I didn't review my matches enough when I was competing. And I encourage you guys to review your matches, see what you did good, see what you didn't. Making a good amount of mistakes here, but ooh, that was nice. I don't want to rewatch this. It hurts. But I figured this would be a good match for you to show some of the things I was doing wrong. That was bad for me. You don't shoot. When somebody snaps your face in the mat, you don't shoot. So I tried to shoot when he snapped me. Then look at how I even came back up. Like, he didn't shoot here, but I came back up like reaching for his head. So he snaps. I shoot while he snaps. And then when I come and recover from that, I reach up to his shoulders, which is like, with that right hand, he could have blasted right through me right now. If he lowered his level, he would have shot right through me. Nice little fake there, and then he goes super duck. So you reach up with your right, I reach up, and then he ducks that side, comes on top. 20 seconds left. Gotta try to get my escape. I never stop wrestling. That's the one thing. I don't stop. Cardio was always super good. No matter how much I was losing, I would always keep attacking. So hopefully you guys can learn from that. Make in-match adjustments. Don't keep doing the same thing and keep getting the same results, right? Like, it's 3 minutes in, it's 4 minutes in. Change it up. I've drilled other shots before. I know how to hit a double. I know how to hit an ankle pick. I know how to hit a low single. I know how to hit a shot from the open, but I didn't change it up. And I think that's something good, very high-level wrestlers are better at than I was. They were better at making adjustments and making things work and figuring out how to score when your go-to stuff is getting shut down. See you guys in the next match review video. Feel free to comment below if you want me to create any specific instructionals, and subscribe.